NFL free agency is just around the corner, and we got a lot of great running backs in this free agency class. And I want to give some potential landing spots for where I think some of the top running backs in free agency are going to land. We're going to start off with Saquon Barkley. Him to the Houston Texans makes so much sense. The run game for Houston was abysmal last year. They had Devin Singletary, who was their best running back on the team. He's a free agent right now. They got a lot of cap space, $70 million to spend. Why not go ahead and bring in Saquon? Not only will he improve your rushing attack, but he also is going to help improve your passing game as well, because he's really good at catching the ball out of the backfield. You also can line him out wide as a wide receiver in certain situations. Saquon Barkley will bring a different element to the Houston Texans offense, because they already have some really good pass catchers. You just extended tight end Dalton Schultz. You got Tank Dell coming back fully healthy. You got Nico Collins coming off a breakout season. Adding Saquon Barkley now will be another weapon for CJ Stroud to have. And plus, when you got a young quarterback like CJ, it helps to have a running back who he knows he can always look for in case he needs a check down option when the team wants to send extra guys on the blitz or nobody's getting open. He just needs to get the ball out fast. Saquon Barkley will be a very good pickup for Houston. There's been some concerns about his durability. He's one of those players that when he's healthy, he's one of the best at his position. But the problem is, are you willing to invest a lot of money into paying a guy like Saquon Barkley when you have those durability concerns? I think for a team like Houston, it's worth it. And plus, it would help Saquon Barkley's durability if you go ahead and you draft another running back, or you sign a running back who could be a really good complementary piece of Saquon, so you don't have to overly rely on him throughout the regular season. You can just find a way to preserve him through the regular season, utilize him, but putting him on the pitch count and keep him healthy for when you want to make a deep playoff run. Saquon Barkley will be a great pickup for the Houston Texans, and I think he's going to end up landing in the H-Town. Derrick Henry, I believe he's going to go to Baltimore. There were already rumors saying that the Ravens wanted to trade for him at the trade deadline, and they already had a trade in line for him, but the Tennessee Titans ownership just didn't want to part ways with Derrick Henry. He's on the open market. He's on that career stage now where you're expecting a little bit of regression. But just because he's going to regress still doesn't mean that he won't be a really big addition to the Baltimore Ravens, because since he's a Hall of Fame level player, Hall of Fame level players, they regress at a slower rate than normal players. So Derrick Henry, he still can give you 2-3 more productive seasons. Now, you're going to get a season out of him where he can give you 1,500 yards? No. But in the backfield with Lamar Jackson, and then you're going to have Keaton Mitchell coming back from that season-ending injury, Derrick Henry can still give Baltimore 1,000 yards, probably 12 touchdowns, just with how physical he is. He's still a really imposing back. He's still stiff-arming guys, running guys over. Like, I understand why the Baltimore Ravens wanted to trade for him at the deadline, because if there's anybody has seen the full wrath of Derrick Henry at full force, it's them, with all the big highlight moments he's had going against Baltimore over the last couple of years. So him to the Ravens makes a lot of sense. They got the cap space to do it. They need a running back. Dalvin Cook, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards are all free agents right now. Derrick Henry, yeah, he's 30 years old, but the Ravens can afford to invest in a guy that has this kind of age just because they're nearly there in terms of having a complete roster. So why not just try to stack talent and continue to further make your roster more overpowered? Does it piss you off how much you pay for your monthly phone bill? Why are you getting frustrated when our partner MMobile has plans as low as $15 a month that give you unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network? Stop getting frustrated with how much you spend on your monthly phone bill and go to trymintmobile.com/JTSports and description and pin comment down below to get access to premium wireless for only $15 a month. That's only $15 a month. Switching to Mint It's easy. It only takes 15 minutes to do. If you're pissed off with how much you pay for your monthly phone bill, switch to Mint Mobile today and go to trymintmobile.com/JT Sports in the description and pin comment down below to get premium wireless for only $15 a month. Stop getting upset with how much you spend on your monthly phone bill and switch to Mint Mobile today. Now, next up, Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is coming off a down season. After the Cowboys decided to part ways with Ezekiel Elliott, a lot of us were thinking that Tony Pollard was going to have a major impact season for Dallas. And that didn't go how many of us thought it would. You know, he wasn't really the same force when he was the full lead back. He wasn't as explosive. His yards per carry were down. And we didn't see as many explosive runs out of Tony Pollard in 2023 as we saw in the year prior when he bursted onto the scene out of nowhere. For a team like the New York Giants, you can get a guy like Tony Pollard on a pretty reasonable deal, and it could be a prove-it deal. It could be a 2-year, $6 million, $7 million contract, and he's not Saquon Barkley, but he does have a similar skill set that he can bring to the table. He is a pretty good pass catcher. He is really explosive, and if they can improve that offensive line, this could be one of the best bargain deals that the New York Giants could get on the market. So Tony Pollard, he's still looking to become a lead back. If he doesn't want to be a complimentary back, going to the New York Giants would be the best fit for him. And it doesn't look like they're going to re-sign Saquon. Why would they get Tony Pollard when they could just bring back Saquon? Well, you can get Tony Pollard for a way cheaper deal than what you can get Saquon for. Saquon is at least probably going to get $10 million plus or more. Tony Pollard, he at most will maybe command $6 million a year, which is fairly reasonable for what you can get out of somebody with his skill set at running back. Josh Jacobs, I believe he's going back to Las Vegas. I don't see the Raiders allowing him to play for anybody else. When you think about the heart and soul of the Raiders, it's Josh Jacobs. You may say Max Crosby, that's a good one too, but Josh Jacobs is just so authentic. A lot of players in the locker room really love him. And he's really I wouldn't even say the silent leader of the team. Like when he speaks, everybody listens. And I really love when the media talks to Josh Jacobs because you're always going to get the real. And Antonio Pierce is a real authentic guy. And I would like to believe that he would want to see Josh Jacobs suiting back up next season for the silver and black. Josh Jacobs already said that he has no problems coming back to Vegas. There's no hard feelings about the contract situation. He had a down season anyway because of, he was in and out of the lineup due to injuries, and the offensive line still wasn't as good as what it needs to be, but Josh Jacobs still is good enough where you can bring him back. He's still a top 10 running back, and you're definitely going to want to have a guy like Josh Jacobs when you're having rumors of eyeing up for a quarterback in this year's draft. So if you plan on trading up for a quarterback in the draft, it would be in your best interest to make sure that you have a good running back so you're not overly relying on your young QB. And if you get Jaden Daniels, can you imagine the backfield with him and Josh Jacobs? Bring Josh Jacobs back to the Raiders, man. I'm not a Raiders fan, but I would be a little bit surprised if he was playing for anywhere else. DeAndre Swift is probably the most underrated running back on the free agency market right now. He's coming off a really efficient season with the Philadelphia Eagles, and he was the best part of the Philadelphia Eagles offensive attack when they started out 10-1. When things started to go left, that's when the Philadelphia Eagles got away from DeAndre Swift. But when they were running the offense through DeAndre, they were really effective. DeAndre Swift going to the Minnesota Vikings, you probably could get him for around $7 million a year. So it could be a cap-friendly deal that still allows you to bring back Kirk Cousins and Jay Jettis. But let's say you move on from Kirk Cousins and you got to go the route of getting a younger option at quarterback. it would help to have a proven running back there that you know is going to be able to take a little bit of that load off whoever's going to be your replacement at quarterback, which mainly could be you going in a younger direction. DeAndre Swift, not only is he a really effective running back, very good vision, very good after contact, but he also is really good in the passing game. So you can be a good check down option for a young quarterback or a young signal caller. DeAndre Swift, I also would like to see him on the Baltimore Ravens too. That would be really nasty, but I got him going to the Minnesota Vikings. They got a good amount of cap space. Yeah, they got to pay Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins potentially, but you still should have some money to be able to get a deal done with DeAndre Swift. These are my landing spots for all of the top free agent running backs. My predictions for where I think the best running backs in free agency are going to land. Leave your predictions in the comment section down below.